Hello. I just wanted to mention that meditation is not witchcraft, but it does open you up to manipulation and misdirection from spirits and others. Uh, to get an understanding of what I'm saying, we only have to look at the life of Siddhartha. He started out his life with a lot of comfort and opportunity. Even married, had a child. And during that time, he loved to have sex. I mean, he was very, very prolific at sex. Uh, Now, the first time he was exposed to bad part of life, he really started questioning things, got dissatisfied with his life, that he decided to leave in search of knowledge. He joined up with a couple of men, sages, that were his mentors for about 6 years, where he learned to meditate. They taught him to meditate, to abuse his body through starvation, denying themselves fluid and other means. It was pretty stringent. He became so skinny that you could see all of his rib bones, and they were saying that he was trying to survive on 1 grain of rice a day. And it was during at this point where he was so emaciated, trying to survive 1 grain of rice a day, uh, that he decided he was just questioning what good any of this was doing, since he was not getting any knowledge, any enlightenment. So he went to a nearby village and he asked a woman for some food, which she gave him. And it was after he started eating and got the food, he went and sat under a tree and sat and just started thinking about it. And he reached his first point of enlightenment. And that was his first step in his journey to enlightenment. Now, he didn't get fully enlightened until he had an encounter with Mara, which is his version of Satan. Uh, and after he defeated Mara, then he became fully enlightened. He would later in his teachings, which his teachings still today, kind of they don't forget bit, but they recommend people not to abuse themselves, abuse their bodies, do all this strict stuff in the search of enlightenment. It really serves no purpose. Um, so and the more he abused himself, the more he denied himself any kind of pleasure. He just became more and more negative. Uh, Once he got enlightened, if you ever look at um, any statues of him or any paintings, they show him as a chubby guy. Certainly not the skinny, emaciated guy that was there at the end. Um, Now, as far as meditations, I think that maybe the Catholics, the Buddhists, and the Muslims probably have a correct grasp on how to do safe meditation. I'm not really too sure about the Muslims because I'm not sure how they work the prayer beads. Uh, but I am under the impression they cite the Quran, which is a good thing. Uh, Now, the Buddhists, they meditate by saying a phrase. Some hum, but mostly they do a phrase, the Namyaka Rengekyo. They do it over and over again. And while this is safer than humming, it still creates a vacuum that can be used by negative entities to try to manipulate, distort, and confuse your insights. I think that one of the better practices that I've seen is the Catholics praying their rosaries. Uh, this is good at that it brings into remembrance the life of Jesus and pays homage to him, God, and his mother. And where it is a good thing is because it's repetitive. Because it's repetitive, it becomes automatic, which allows a person to start praying in the spirit and get out of their mind, get out of praying in the mind and body. Um, Praying in the spirit is the best type of is the best type of meditation because you establish a connection with God that prevents outside influences from influencing the insights that you're getting. Of course, not everybody that prays rosaries know how to switch from praying in the mind and body to praying in the spirit. They don't know how to transfer to that. They don't know how to progress to praying in the spirit. They just have to learn to stop focusing on their petition, which every rosary has a petition that they're asking, and stop focusing on the prayers, the words of the prayers, because they're all the same thing over and over. So don't focus on them. Just know that you're saying them, because it's pretty automatic after a while. It's just repetition. You can say it without actually even thinking about the words. You can focus on making the connection with God. Now, some people will say, isn't that praying in vain repetitions that Jesus warned us about? And the answer is no. If you look at how he taught us to pray the Lord's Prayer, you'll see that the prayer of the Lord's Prayer mostly praises God and only has two small requests, two small petitions, and one for daily bread and one is for forgiveness. The rosaries do the same thing. They have one petition that is cited at the beginning, and they have the Lord's Prayer, which the Catholics call the Our Fathers, that are blended into the rosaries. So it's pretty much comparable. Now, vain repetitions, what vain repetitions really is somebody requesting the same thing over and over, like, Lord, please let me have this truck. Lord, I really need that truck badly. Need it today. Lord, please, I'll do anything if you give me that new truck. I'll stop drinking. I'll, start making contracts with God, deals. I'll do this. I'll be a better husband. Oh, Lord, just get me that truck. I just need that truck. And maybe I don't need it, but I want it. I just want to have it. But I'll be a good man after you give it to me. Those are vain repetitions. And they're vain because God already knows what you want and need. So there's no reason to keep just, how would you feel when your children come and keep, I want to go to the movies, Mom. I want to go to the movies. Mom, take me to the movies. Oh, Mom, everybody's going to the movies. That's what all the kids are doing. How do you feel about that? So that's what makes it vain repetitions. And so while, God understands why we do things and he doesn't really necessarily hold it against us, it's not edifying you. It's not benefiting you to do it that way. I think that one of the best ways of making a spiritual connection is the concept that Muslims use. When they go into their prayer position, they seek a connection with God, and they establish the connection and lock it in. There's no need for prayers, words, petition, or requests when you do this. Of course, from my understanding, the Muslims do recite Quran in their prayers, which is good because they're not making any real requests. They're just praising God with the Quran, words on the Quran. Now, when you establish the connection with God, all you have to do is sit in your favorite prayer position and just commune with God. You don't have to make requests. He already knows what you want and need. He knows everything that's going on. There's really no reason for words or action from you. They just get in the way anyway. You just let your spirit connect, and then you commune with God. You let your spirit communicate with God's spirit. You establish this bond, and they're both communicating back and forth. He's understanding all your wants and needs and how much badly you need him, and you're understanding what he wants from you. You're understanding what his spirit is telling you, all the insights and all the knowledge he's giving you, and everything else that comes from God happens during that communion between both of you. And this is the best type of meditation, and it gives you the safest insights. And because the connection is between you and God exclusively, there's no room for any outside negative entities, spirits, powers, whatever, to interfere from you getting the correct positive message. Okay. And if you look at it, isn't that the way that Jesus taught us to pray that way? And so it's very, very, it's best to meditate wisely. If you prefer the harder way, the with the and the Namnaka Ringgit. If you prefer that way with gongs and cymbals and all the noise making stuff, that's fine. Just be careful. Just be aware that there's a lot of entities out there that are going to mislead, misdirect, and manipulate what messages you're receiving. And some of the messages may be from them themselves. So just be very careful, because Satan knows he doesn't have to lie all the time. He just has to lie at the right moment to cause chaos and destruction wherever he goes. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you. God bless.